Hello, Plainfield. This is Chief John Konopek. We're here with you again this morning, joined by Mayor Mike Collins and also Plainfield Fire Chief John Stratton and Oswego Fire Chief Mike Vesling. Today we'd like to just give you a little update on some questions that you have submitted to us over the last few days as far as things we are doing with COVID-19. We also have a little general information as far as other things that are going on in the village right now. So at this time I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Mike Collins.
Good morning. My name is Mike Collins. I'm the mayor here in town. I have a few notes for you this morning. The disaster declaration was signed to extend on March 26th. This had to be done by the approval of the whole village board. This declaration allows the village to enact emergency operation plan and access resources, equipment, personnel in order to assist Plainfield residents. Other things that we should be aware of is make sure Plainfield counts. Census letters have arrived. Be sure to complete the census online as soon as possible. It is important for residents to respond in order to ensure our area is accurately represented and receives its fair share of federal funding for social services, schools, and infrastructure. Plus, it is a quick, safe, and secure. To learn more about the census, visit 2020census.gov. Waste management, yard waste collection resumes with the first pickup in April. Brush, grass, clippings, and leaves should be placed in craft yard bags, waste bags, and waste management or a yard cart. Please note that dirt, pavers, and mulch are not accepted as yard waste. Please place all garbage, recycling, and yard waste at the curb before 6 a.m. Pickup of bulk items has been suspended due to COVID-19. Spring cleanup, generally scheduled for the weekend April 13th, has been canceled. April 2nd, HPC landmark and district designation meeting has been canceled. April 4th and 7th, Green Village programs at the Plainfield Library have been canceled. Coffee with the Mayor has been canceled. 2020 Citizens Police and Fire Academy has been canceled. The National Weather Service Basic Weather Spotting Severe Weather Training scheduled for April 22nd at Plainfield High School has been canceled. The Big Serve has been canceled. And the Fast Cat 5K is now a virtual run. State Representative Mark Bagna has launched a coronavirus Helping Hands program to help those in need in the community. We're looking for volunteers to assist who are homebound. If you are interested in volunteering or need assistance, please contact Representative Batnick's office at 815-254-0000. Settlers Park playground equipment is closed due to the potential COVID-19 virus that lives on surfaces. Please enjoy the park walking while maintaining a proper social distance and not congesting with larger groups. COVID-19 stimulus package will expand unemployment benefits. See the Plainfield website for an application. Hospitality Emergency Grant Program of $14 million aims to help small hospitality businesses make ends meet, providing up to $25,000 to eligible bars, restaurants, and up to $50,000 for eligible hotels. These grants are available to support working capital like payroll and rent. Job training and technology to support shifts in operations like increased pickup and delivery. Bars and restaurants that generate between $500,000 and $1 million in revenue in 19 are eligible for up to $25,000. And bars and restaurants that generated less than $500,000 in revenue in 19 are eligible for $10,000. Applications are available today on DCEO website and are due by April 1st at 5 o'clock. All valid eligible applicants received within the 5-day window will be entered into a lottery, and grant winners will be notified on April the 4th. Lastly, persuading a country to voluntary stay at home is not easy. The importance of social distancing must be impressed upon the public, who also need to be reassured and informed. Please be safe.
Thank you, Mayor. So now we'd like to answer some of the questions that you, the residents, have submitted over the last few days to the police department. We'd first like to start with our 2 fire departments. We're going to ask a couple questions that were submitted, and they will be answering those questions. So first of all, what signs or symptoms should someone be looking for associated with COVID-19? Chief Stratton or Chief Fessling?
First of all, good morning. I'm Chief Stratton from the Plainfield Fire District. Chief Mike Fexling from the Oswego Fire Protection District. Mike, you want to go ahead and start answering that?
Yeah, the CDC tells us that the signs and symptoms that are first going to show would be fever, cough, and difficulty breathing or shortness of breath. And the CDC further recommends that if you do feel any of those symptoms, that you call your healthcare provider, your own doctor or healthcare provider first, to get advice and direction from them. John?
Yeah, pretty much the same, like Mike said with the CDC. It's a lot of symptoms are the same as the flu symptoms. When you start getting that difficulty in breathing, that's one of the larger, with the fever and everything, that's one of the key points to where the 911 has to be utilized and call us.
Thank you. The next question for the fire chiefs. If you are not feeling well and you need to call for an ambulance, what should you try to do to prepare for the ambulance's arrival?
Well, it sounds like I'm going to take this one first, Mike, since you got the first one. Pretty much what's going to happen when you call 911, the dispatcher is going to be asking you a lot of questions, specific questions, which is going to alert some of our first arriving guys to what your symptoms are. The biggest part is what we're going to try to do is if you're able to get to your front door, we want you to get to that front door so we can talk to you kind of face to face, keeping our distance. The guys are going to be coming up there. They will be wearing PPE. It won't be the normal response coming up there just to keep us safe and you safe. Then we're going to determine a lot of times you may not have to go to the hospital, may get a refusal on you. But other than that, that's pretty much where we're at. I don't want you to run out to the ambulance and meet the guys there. Please don't do that. We've had a couple situations. We don't want that. Let us come to your front door and talk to you before you come out. Mike, you got any more?
Yeah, our medics will do an assessment at the front door, as the chief said, and we'll try and get a determination as to what the best course of action is, and we'll advise you at that point. If we do need to transport you, we'll try and limit contact, so family members are prohibited from being in the back of the ambulance. Obviously, if you have a young child, some of those exceptions would be allowed. But we'd be looking for you to just cooperate well with the paramedics. We're trying to limit the exposure of our medics to you as well as you to them. And so we'll do everything we can to keep the proper PPE in place, advise you of the best course of action, and take care of any of your medical needs.
Thank you, Chiefs. A couple questions that were directed at the police department or about the social distancing and essential businesses. So why are certain companies still allowed to conduct business, and what determines an essential company or employee? Right now, we're working off guidelines as set forth by the federal government and also the state of Illinois. As far as what's considered a critical or essential business, it's basically a business that provides for human life, provides for people to carry on in day-to-day life, such as gas stations, grocery stores, banks. Although most bank lobbies are closed, you can still utilize bank drive-thrus. Many businesses remain open, factories, places like that, specifically places that are producing personal protective equipment, such as masks, goggles, gloves. There's many businesses that originally probably wouldn't have fallen under an essential business or a critical business that stayed open. However, they've since transferred over their manufacturing process. We have one business in town that used to do nothing but nail polish. They have since transferred over. They're now making hand sanitizer, which we know is in great supply. So basically, the business, what we are determining is based on guidelines set forth again by the state and the federal government, and we're taking it on a case-by-case basis. If you feel that there's a business out there that maybe should not be operating, please contact the Plainfield Police Department, and we will look at the situation to determine if in fact they are considered an essential or critical business or not. And the same goes with the employees. First and foremost, if a business is remaining open, an employee does not need any type of letter, authorization form, or anything to be out to go to work or anything like that. We will not be asking for that if by chance we stop a vehicle. We will not be stopping vehicles just to check that a person is actually authorized to be out. But if we do stop a vehicle for a different situation, we will not be asking for any type of authorization papers. So again, that's going to be a determination by the company itself. If the company is determined to be an essential or critical business that needs to remain open, it's then upon that company to determine their respective employees. Some employees, just like the village itself, can stay at home and work from home. Some employees, just like the police departments, the fire departments, don't have a choice. Our employees still need to come to work to protect the citizens of the village of Plainfield. So I hope that question is answered okay. Our next question. If you are out walking your dog and you go to a park and it starts to get busy, at what point should I leave? Well, quite honestly, it depends on your personal situation. Social distancing, meaning staying more than 6 feet apart. The stay-at-home order from the governor, that does not mean that you have to sit inside your house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can still go out into your yard. You can still take walks. You can still take a bike ride. You can still go to the park to play with your dog. However, you have to remain 6 feet apart from everyone, with the exception of people that live under your same roof, so other immediate family members. If you don't feel that you can maintain that 6 foot distance, then I would strongly suggest you get away from that area. You go back home or you move to another area where people are not possibly getting within 6 feet of you. As far as parents, please talk to your kids, your teenage kids, and quite frankly, even your kids that are in their 20s, maybe even 30s for that matter. I've talked to my kids about this and they're in their 20s. You have to maintain that social distancing. If you cannot trust that you can do it, if you cannot trust other people that they will not get into your personal space within 6 feet, then please stay at home. Only come out if you absolutely have to. And again, by coming out, it does not mean you cannot go outside your house. Just don't go to areas where you will be compromising yourself with that 6 foot distance. And again, if anyone has questions about that, please contact the Plainfield Police Department. We have a couple general questions that have been asked. What is the standard by which it will be deemed okay to go back to school or to start participating in other public activities? Quite frankly, that's going to be a determination made again by the federal government or the state of Illinois. Right now, as you're all aware, we are still on the upswing as far as the number of cases being diagnosed, the number of people being exposed. And this situation will carry on for quite a while. I don't have a date and time, so I cannot give you that answer. But I will tell you, our federal officials, our state officials, and even our local officials are looking at that information right now and trying to get you the best information possible. The next question, and I think the mayor answered this one a little bit, but I'll ask it anyway. When and how do we submit an application for the small business grants that are being offered to suburban businesses that Governor Pritzker spoke of last week? As the mayor spoke of earlier on, if you go to the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Development, otherwise known as DCEO, they have most of the information on there as far as how you would apply for these grants, what the process is, and everything associated with small businesses. So if you have any questions on anything economic related, financial related, please go to the DCO website and they should be able to answer most of your questions. I think that touches base on most of the questions that we were asked over the last several days. We would like to continue this process, so we may be doing another taping in the next few days or maybe next week. So if you have questions that you would like answered, you can always email myself, Jay Konopek at plainfieldpd.com, and I will try to answer your questions, either consulting with my fire chiefs or getting the information in other avenues depending on the questions. Or you can private message the police department. And again, we'll be gathering a number of questions, and we'll be doing a video probably next week to try to answer some of those more commonly asked questions. In the meantime, please stay healthy, please stay safe, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact the Village of Plainfield, the Plainfield Police Department, or the Plainfield or Oswego Fire Protection Districts. Thank you.